Hi. I'm a troubled timekeeper. I recall just the other day, it was late one Friday evening. I had not entered in my time for the day, but I had a very important engagement to get to that night. And I figured, one time, it won't matter. Who's it gonna hurt? I'll not put my time down just yet. It'll hold for the weekend. Yeah, famous last words. Was a hell of a weekend, though.
I didn't get my time entered on time because I was too busy dealing with Mike Kelly stopping by my office every 5 minutes yelling at me about getting my time entered on time. I didn't get my time entered on time because Eric Albright came into my office to talk about sports, and by the time he left 5 hours later, I had no idea what I was doing before he came in. I didn't get my time entered on time because I had a committee on committee formation subcommittee committee meeting.
Hi, I'm John Heil from the Charlotte office. I'm here to talk to you about 0.2 of an hour, or 0.2 in timesheet parlance. And so the question is, a 0.2 at the end of the day doesn't matter, does it? Well, if you do the math, a 0.2 times 5 days in a week equals 1 hour a week. 1 hour times 50 weeks is 50 hours in a year. If you do 50 hours times 183 timekeepers, you're up to 9,150 hours. And if you multiply that by an average billed rate of $267 an hour, you're talking about $2,443,050 per year going straight to the bottom line. So a 0.2 does matter.
Okay, so let's face it, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and some of us are really good at time entry, and others of us we focus more on client interests first. It's more fun than trying to rehash keeping time accurate from the day before. But doing client work is only part of the job. Not only do we have to do really good client work, but to be A+ excellent lawyers, we have to have really good business skills. And timekeeping is one of the most important things that we can do for the business.
Let me tell you about this new timekeeping app, iTimekeep. It is a very efficient way to input your time from your iPhone or iPad. I installed it on my iPhone a few weeks ago and have found it very efficient to use. All you have to do is tap the application, your case list pops up, you input your time, you can be done contemporaneously wherever you are, in the office or on the road.
I thought I was a pretty good timekeeper. I entered my time every day at the end of the day, then checked it the next day. And I'd heard about this System Elite, but I was always reluctant to use it because I thought it was going to take more time than what I thought was entering my time efficiently. So I had instruction from Karen and Shelley, and they showed me how easy it was to use. My initial concern was I was going to spend too much time looking for the client and matter numbers, and that I would make a mistake, enter them, or it would take too long to enter those client matter numbers. Well, what I realized, they were already populated. It was on a drop-down screen. You just click on that and you enter your time immediately. So now I enter my time, I enter it throughout the day. So when I'm ready to leave for the day, I just walk out the door and not have to worry about entering my time and then checking it the next day. So it's not only saved me a lot of time there, it's also saved my assistant time because she doesn't have to enter the time, and also the time that comes back is more accurate because I'm entering it and I'm able to change it as I go along. For the younger attorneys in the firm who are entering time, I would encourage them to start with this initially so you don't get in the bad habits that the older attorneys are in, including me, of dictating time and then checking it the next day, or waiting a period of time and entering it, because I've discovered that this is the most efficient way to enter time. It's the most accurate. It captures the full day for you, and at the end of the day you're done and all the bills are up to date.
Well, I guess the important thing is to get it in and also to finalize it in Elite, right? Because I know there are times when I have not finalized my time for a certain period of time. And so when I would go in, if I was someone else trying to look to see how busy I was during the course of a month and I haven't finalized my time, that person will have no idea. And I know that has practice management implications. I think the other thing that I've noticed as a billing attorney or a responsible attorney on a case is that when a client calls and says, okay, we'd just like to do our mid-month check-in, can you give us an idea as to where we are this month on your the amount of time spent on this transaction? And so you have to quickly say, oh, of course, we'll get that to you in the morning, and then you have to scramble sometimes if yours or someone else's time isn't entered and finalized.
Right.
So Susan, when the Associates Committee is reviewing individual associates each year to figure out their advancement, how does the timely entry of their time into the system impact that determination?
It falls into the administrative criteria that we look at for the associates as they're moving through the system. And, folks that have difficulties, it'll be usually brought to our attention by a pal or a mentor. And we usually try to talk to people, and, if they have a change in their ways and it's not gonna, we're gonna see that they responded and we figured out what the problem was. But if it's continuous and there's no response, then it really can impact going forward, as the associate is supposed to be getting more administrative responsibility, more management of a client.
Right.
If they can't get their time in, it's just potential evidence that they're not going to be able to get their bills out timely, and some of the other administrative, not so much fun parts of the law won't get done. But it's really important for us and our clients to get that done.
Absolutely.
What about when you become a partner in the compensation?
Well, time entry, along with other administrative functions, definitely is a matter, a component that is considered when we are talking about each partner and their compensation. And Mike will let us know that either the person is administratively great or administratively terrible or something in between. But most of the time that amounts to either the person does or does not get their time entered on a timely basis, and that they do or do not get their bills out. And of course, the time that we enter into the system turns into the bills that we send to our clients, and that's the basis of how we're paid. So if the Comp Committee does consider time entry habits and bill getting out or release habits as one factor in what is a pretty robust set of factors that we consider to set an individual partner's compensation.
Here's the problem with timekeeping. I don't care who you are. Nobody can remember everything they did yesterday if they don't put it down as it happens, especially if you didn't put your time down 2 weeks ago. There is no way you can recapture every phone call, every email, every bit of research, everything you did for a client. You do lose time. I don't care who you are. You lose time. Or if you don't remember it, you have to make it up. One way you're cheating the firm, the other way you're cheating the client.
I've been asked to speak on behalf of the other administrative assistants of the firm in connection with timesheets and how much we would appreciate it if the attorneys would provide those to us. The goal would be on a daily basis, of course, so that we could get those turned in or entered every day, as opposed to waiting to the end of the month when we get a number at one time and we have a workload that we've got to juggle in addition to getting the timesheets in as well. It would certainly cut down on the stress for everyone, including the attorneys, as they want their time entered before Elite closes, and certainly on our side, because we want to be able to do our job in the best possible manner, and if we all work together, I feel like we can get it done in an efficient manner.
Use your time entry to tell your clients a story. Let them know how you've helped them this month and furthered their cause. Be sure to have your time entries as complete as possible so they can really understand the benefit of the work that you have done this month. Make sure that you avoid cryptic entries like telephone conference with client. Use the names, use Ms. Smith or Mr. Johnson so that it sounds more professional and complete. Make sure that you are consistent in how you use different terms so that the billing attorney does not have to spend a lot of time editing your entry and making it sound like you should have made it to start with.
But I would urge all other attorneys who use a different system other than putting it in Elite on a daily basis to spend 15 minutes with your assistants, get some basic training, and I think you will find that the ease of use of the system, the consistency of the result, and the fact that the billing codes are broken down for you automatically. You don't have to search for the billing code for vacation or for COE or for business development. It is all right there in front of you, and all you have to do is click on it and then enter the proper time entry. Not only will you make your life and that of your assistant much less stressful, but you'll enable the law firm to correctly capture your time, to be able to bill it without losing time, and also you will enable those who track work in progress and bill and work levels to do that on an interim basis so that the firm is not in the dark, so to speak, as to where things stand prior to the last day of the month.
When I begin the month-end process, I have to close out all the batches in Elite. Time entry is one of the biggest batches that needs to be done. So when people are still in the system and I'm trying to close out the batches, that causes delay in the entire process since several steps in the closeout have to be redone. Closeout's a very sequential process. Unfortunately, I can't skip any steps and go on to something else. It has to be done in particular order. So the month-end reporting and the pro forma generation takes a while to run in Elite, and it gets frustrating when the whole process gets delayed waiting on people. We're not talking 5-10 minutes. Sometimes you're closer to an hour or more waiting. And after I get everything closed out, it still takes me an additional 2 hours of work to get everything generated before I can leave for the day. So that's why we always ask everyone to have their time in by 5 o'clock. Now, if people don't have their time in, we've already closed out for the month, that also causes problems because you can't enter your time until the system comes back up. The management reports aren't going to be accurate, and neither will the pro formas. And that creates extra work for everyone. The ladies in the billing department have to redo pro formas to pick up the missing time from the previous month. And sometimes that doesn't get done, and it could sit out there till the next billing cycle, and that can cause problems with some clients, and we may end up having to write the time off. That's why we ask for everybody to get their time in, and it's very important to, that it's entered promptly.
Obviously, we all know that if you delay in doing your time, you're going to lose time. We want everyone to follow the policy of daily time entry, finalizing all time at least weekly, and we are working hard to provide you, as we said, the best technology to make that process as easy as it can be. But the key is you have to be committed to daily time entry, and we're asking everyone to cooperate with that effort to the benefit of you as a timekeeper and to the firm as a whole.
Rick and Mike aren't going to see this, are they?